Beastburg broadcast number 001.
Okay, this is Uncle Bert Lamb saying hello from Beastburg. We're broadcasting from planet Darkstar today to your planet Earth. We want to thank you for sending Earth songs to us in musical notation format and for making them show up as screensavers on our idle computers. This Darkstar Journal show is a sort of return gift from our little group. Here on Darkstar, it is 3215. It is August now. In fact, it's the first day of the month and a Tuesday. Late in the morning, I took the tube all the way up to Hampstead Heath, and there I got off to have lunch with our old and dear family friend, Miss Tahr. She has a basement flat in a row house on Barley Street across from the Heath, and it's dark and poky, but she never seems to mind having access to the vast Lurcher estate across the way. For 20 years now, the house and park has belonged to a great friend of hers, Dorothy Lurcher. Elizabeth's door is off the street and through a rusty metal gate, tucked down below some steps under high front stairs. At the bottom I found a note on the door. "Don't ring. Walk in. I'm sleeping out in the garden." I walked through her tiny sitting room and kitchen to the walled garden that was really just big enough to fit Miss Tahr in her sun chair and some potted plants. I cleared my throat to wake her and said, "Hello, Miss Tahr," and she opened her vivid large eyes and smiled. "Just having my nap," she said, and got up and led me out of the house and across to the back gates of the Lurcher estate. I offered my arm to her and let her drag me across the street. She's always been proudly strong and independent. For many years, Miss Tahr had a small painting studio in the Lurcher's old stable by the drive. But recently, since the male Lurcher twins have grown up, she's inherited the top floor of the kennel for her own use. This will be my first visit to her since she moved her studio. Miss Tahr was my inker on the Super Duck comic strip from almost the first moment when it was syndicated around the world. And then, when I hit my endless, reputation-destroying crisis, she was very supportive with me and helped with the whole transition from me running the strip to my daughter Woolen taking over. As we climbed the long stairs together, I was remembering the dark years when events transpired to convince the world's media that the charming so-called ghosty songs did not come from an alien planet, but were created by me. First, Tit and Tat Polecat got rich saying they created the ghosty songs. Then I formed a charity to copyright any new songs. The Polecats pulled me into an ugly court case, and in order to save the day, my own lawyer demonstrated that even little me was better placed to produce and distribute these songs than the stupid Polecats. Thus, my reputation was destroyed. But, luckily, with the help of both Woolen and Miss Tahr, Super Duck kept going, and in fact has reached wonderful new heights. This is all ancient history now. I've worked at the Jackster Archive for 9 years, still drawing cartoons, though not displaying them in public. But I continue to be supportive with Woolen and keep an eye on Super Duck and on Miss Tahr. Upstairs in the attic room, her own paintings were all over the rough walls, and many small sculptures were on tables or spread around the edges of the room on the floor. Current work was on easels. The table in the middle had little plates set and bowls and silverware, and Miss Tahr busied herself at an island in the middle of the room, heating up the soup and adding a dressing to the salad. The large room demonstrated Miss Tahr's usual mix of order and disorder. "Thank you so much for coming, old Bert," she said as we sat down. "I've been wanting to talk to you about our Woolie's offer to me, and I've also got something I want to give you after lunch." "Well," I said, "I've been hearing all about Woolie's plan for you, and I think it's a great idea." Woolen, our middle daughter, is right now buying a lovely old house in a pine grove, high up on a hill over the ocean. She recently told us that as soon as the papers are signed, she plans to give over an old, unused stable out there to Miss Tahr as a painting studio. She's also letting her actually move into the house full-time and share it with her. I'm very curious about what your whole family will think of the scheme, said Miss Tahr. I've had such a long involvement with you all. I was your only comic strip inker for over 30 years, you know, if you can believe it, and now I've been inking for our dear Wooly for more than 13. I would have thought you'd all be sick of me by now. Elizabeth, I said, even though I hardly ever call her by that name, you know we all love you. You're very sweet, Bert, but Wooly knows I mostly just need at my age to be getting on with my own painting. That will be perfect, I said. Wooly mentioned to us that she mainly wants someone out at the house midweek while she's working here in Beastburg. She may be away a lot, and she thinks the house should be lived in. I'm afraid, said Miss Tahr, getting up to bring the salad to the table, that I'll be coming into the city regularly myself once a week. I still have at least a day of inking to do for her at the Super Duck studio, and then I haven't even met Wooly's new friend, Martha Tiger, yet. I haven't met her either, I admitted. But I'm sure she'll be fine sharing the old place with you now that they're selling it to Wooly. Miss Tiger will only be staying in her old treehouse one last month, I hear. You two will be alone a lot at first, I guess, but while she's still there, so you'll get a good chance to become acquainted with her before she goes back to her own life. Actually, said Miss Tahr, I've just heard that after her father has sold the house to Wooly, Martha Tiger is going to become a co-owner with her. If the two of them are getting so intimate, I don't want to be some sort of gooseberry. It's a new and modern world, you know. I don't know anything about that, I laughed, surprised and caught off guard. Woolen hadn't told us about any of this. We finished our soup, and Miss Tahr cleared the table. Now I have something for you, she said, going to the back of the room and riffling through large framed paintings that were stacked upright there. I came and stood by as she pulled out a painting that was familiar to me from when our girls were young. There they were, acrylic, woolen, and little rayon, the Lamb girls in their party dresses. This is for you and Rosabella, she said. I've been waiting for the painting to age sufficiently to be a proper keepsake. I wanted to remind you both of a vanished and an oh-so-happy time, our collective youth.